I've dealt with madmen, liars, kings in broken coats. But you're not just chaos, are you? You wear it, sell it, package it in jokes while the world burns behind you. I'm not here for the smoke, clown. I'm here to look through it.
Tommy boy. Sharp suit, sharper stare, eyes like a trench that never dried up. You walk like you've buried 100 ghosts and convinced yourself you're their priest. But me? I throw funerals for fun. And guess what? I think we're gonna have a killer conversation.
You laugh because if you didn't, you'd hear the silence you've created. I've met men who kill for crown or coin. You kill to watch something fall apart. But here's the part you never seem to grasp. Destruction without a purpose is just noise. And I've had enough of noise.
Noise? Tommy, you built an empire on the sound of bullets and broken promises, and you're preaching purpose to me? Don't insult the dance of disorder by calling it noise. What I do strips the lies away. You dress them up in a black pea coat and call them strategy.
Strategy kept my family fed when the world offered nothing but caskets. Every move I made was born from necessity. Yours are stitched together with impulse and gasoline. I don't set fires unless there's a reason. You torch the house, and then ask who screamed the loudest.
Because the scream is truth, Tommy. That moment before the breath leaves their lungs. That's real. That's pure. You plan everything to avoid chaos, but you forget chaos is honest. And honesty, oh dear soldier, is something your whiskey-soaked conscience stopped drinking long ago.
Conscience? I buried that in France with the rest of the boys they sent to die for flags. They didn't understand. But I came back and built something. Brick by brick, lie by lie. You don't build, you infect. And when it collapses, you call it a masterpiece.
Oh, Tommy. That's beautiful, almost poetic. But tell me, if you had the choice, really had it, would you still be the builder? Or have you just convinced yourself that stacking power is nobler than tearing it down? Maybe you envy me. Maybe I let go of the thing you're still clutching.
I envy nothing that dances in the ruins it caused. You talk like you're free, but freedom without loyalty, without weight, is just drifting. I've made peace with what I carry. I wear it. You wear paint. At least my scars didn't come from running.
Tommy, I sprint into the fire with open arms. You drag the fire with you and call it family. You think you carry them, protect them, but you chain them to your past. Polly, John, Grace, they weren't shields, Tommy. They were mirrors, and you shattered every single one.
There were reasons. And reasons keep you breathing. That's the difference. You think meaning is weakness. I know it's the only thing that stops a man from becoming a weapon without a target. You became the bullet. I chose where mine landed.
And still, people bled. You keep track of casualties like a ledger makes them disappear. But deep down, you know the ink never dries. Me, I let the blood stain. I wear it. You clean yours off with champagne and parliament seats. Doesn't make it cleaner, just more expensive.
Everything I built came at a cost. Sanity, love, loyalty, none of it came free. But I stood for something. Even if I had to build it on lies, at least it stood. You blow it all up and call the ashes progress.
Progress is the lie, Tommy. It's the leash. Yours was called Britain. Mine was called Arkham. We both chewed through it, but I laughed. You brooded. We're not different because of what we did. We're different because of how we felt when it was done. And you still feel too much.
Feeling doesn't make you weak. It reminds you of what's left to protect. You kill for punchlines. I kill for people who had no choice. There's a line. Maybe not clean, but it's there. You crossed it a long time ago and burned the map behind you.
And what a lovely fire it was. You think lines matter to men like us? You drew yours with bullets, Tommy. You think control redeems your methods. It doesn't. You lead by fear, dress it in suits, serve it in crystal glasses. I just laugh while the glass breaks.
I lead because someone had to. Birmingham would have eaten itself alive without men like me. You wouldn't last a day in my streets. Because madness without discipline is just noise with no teeth. I didn't ask for respect. I earned it.
Respect is a trick, Tommy. A cheap illusion to keep wolves in lines. Fear is honest. When they see me, they know. No second guessing, no politics. Just truth in its most disturbing shade. You dress fear in a tuxedo. I let it dance naked in the rain.
You say fear is honest, but it doesn't last. People get tired of shaking. Eventually they stop running. Then they stand. And when they do, when the laughter dies, you're nothing but a man in makeup with no audience left to clap.
But by then the stage is already burning. And I'm gone. See, I don't care about legacy or applause. I care about awakening. You build empires and think that makes you untouchable. But every brick was laid on trauma, Tommy. You're not a king. You're a survivor pretending it was all part of the plan.
Survivor, yes. Pretender, never. I know what I am. I don't claim innocence. But at least I gave people something real to follow, not a riddle in red paint. You unravel sanity and call it revolution. I hold it together long enough to keep the wolves at bay.
Wolves are fun, they keep you honest. But you're a shepherd who feeds them when no one's looking. You think holding it together means something? It doesn't. Not if you built it all out of you. And you, Tommy, you're just a fuse dressed in regret and cashmere.
Better a fuse than a spark that starts fires and forgets them. I'll take my demons, I know them by name. You run from yours and turn the chase into performance. But I've watched men like you, always laughing until the laughter turns hollow. And then, there's nothing left to say.
That's the point, Tommy. When there's nothing left to say, that's when the real honesty begins. No mask, no suit, just the echo. You still fear the silence. I dance in it. Because silence, Tommy, that's where men like us hear who we really are.
And I've heard enough. I don't need mirrors, clowns, or ghosts to know what's staring back. I'll keep walking, keep building, keep bleeding if I must, because even if the whole bloody world falls, I'll still have the choice to stand in its ruins. You can keep your chaos. I've had worse in my dreams.
Of course you have. And that's why I like you, Tommy. You're already halfway here. You wear control like a cracked crown. Just one slip, one bad day, and you'd see it. Why I laugh. Why I burn. And when that day comes, I'll be there, waiting, smiling, watching you finally understand.